The Leupold VX Freedom 1.5-4x20 features good glass, is exceptionally light, and unbelievably affordable for an American-made rifle scope. It is offered with the MOA ring or Pig-Plex reticle. The MOA ring features a 40 minute of angle ring and 5 minute of angle stadia lines below the crosshairs, whereas the Pig-Plex has a smaller 9 minute of angle ring, and the two stadia lines beneath the crosshairs are a bit variable, but approximately 4.5 MOA apart. I sought out the Leupold VX Freedom 1.5-4 LPVO to run on the Springfield Armory Hellion to keep the topside weight to a minimum. The bullpup rifle is already a bit tippy, and this rifle scope only weighs 9.6 ounces. And the Leupold's 1.56-inch diameter eyepiece allows me to mount the optic on low rings just barely clearing the Picatinny rail and co-witnessing with the Hellion's pop-up iron sights. I chose the Pig-Plex reticle over the MOA ring so that I could use the top of the ring as a 4.5 minute of angle hold under when zeroed for a maximum point-blank range of 425 yards. That is a near zero of 37 yards, a distant zero of 360 yards. The trajectory's apogee is then around 4 to 4.7 minute of angle high from about 75 to 200 yards. Hence the Pig-Plex ring as a hold under. For details, see our video, Maximum Point Blank Range Hellion and the Leupold Pig-Plex Zero. The VX Freedom's glass seems pretty good to my undiscerning eye. I'm sure the more premium Leupold offerings have better glass and improved light gathering, but this rifle scope is plenty good enough and compensates for the Hellion's top-heavy feel. Heavier optics will use the tall Hellion's leverage to make the rifle very tippy. In contrast, the 9.6 ounce VX Freedom mounted low elevates the Hellion. One way this rifle scope achieves featherweight status is by not having a lighted reticle. It's a trade-off. A lighted reticle would be helpful in the woods or dark hallways where the Pig-Plex gets kind of hard to see. A lighted reticle is also very beneficial to those just learning to become ambidextrous, since it helps draw the brain to the eye with the sighting system. The added weight and complexity of a lighted versus simple lightweight, I chose the latter. My eyes are well trained for detecting any sighting system, and for those really dark environments, I'm pretty confident in my ability to hit pig-sized targets with the rifle canted point shooting out to about 50 yards. Okay, so that is why I chose the Leupold VX Freedom Pig-Plex. Where do I think this rifle scope falls short? While the elevation and windage dials are easy to manipulate by hand, toolless and coinless, their clicks start off kind of indistinct. A few dull, subdued nubs, and then the clicks become easily discernible. Almost every time. I'm not sure how that is possible, but it is consistent. I did a live fire return to zero test, running clicks left and right and up and down, and the optic did return to zero. I'll pin that test to the end of this video for those interested in seeing what that entails. One of my all-time favorite rifle scopes is the long discontinued Weaver V3, a 1-3 power lightweight, a very low-powered variable optic. I like that it starts at 1x, which is really needed for that CQB both eyes open stuff. The VX Freedom 1.5-4, presumably 4.5x, with the lowest magnification being 1.5, the brain has a hard time trying to combine the images from each eye, so you end up switching between sighting and non-sighting eye rather than blending the images. Without the 1x, I just leave the VX Freedom at full magnification and rely upon the Bindon aiming concept rather than trying to achieve binocular vision. See our video, Binding Aiming Concept, easy to learn with AmbGun instruction. So while I'd prefer that the VX Freedom started at 1x power, I prefer the Pig-Plex reticle over the simple duplex reticle of the Weaver V3. Given this, between the V3 and the VX Freedom, It's close enough that if one isn't available, I'm happy with the other. It is nice to have a Leupold lifetime warranty on the Pig-Plex though. If the VX Freedom started with 1x magnification, I think I'd prefer first focal plane to keep the MOA measurements consistent, so that I could shoot using the Pig-Plex ring as a hold under at lowest magnification, not just 4x. I would also like to see the two stadia lines have different widths to help with range estimation. By the way, I highly recommend Shooter Ready's Long Range Shooting Simulator for learning how to use your reticle for range finding. An excellent computer game-like simulator for learning the skill. Mounting the VX Freedom, I really wanted to mount it with quality Leupold rings. The steel Leupold Mark IV rings are too heavy, 8 ounces. Not good for the already tippy Hellion. The aluminum Leupold Mark IV rings are 3.6 ounces, much better, but they feature pretty large thumb nuts. These are a snag hazard and they get in the way of operation of charging handles on Ambi bullpup rifles. I figured I would castrate the aluminum Leupold rings just like I did when I removed the huge thumb nuts from my ACOG. See our video, ACOG mounting nuts, ambidextrous obstruction. The thumb nuts are staked in place, but it was a simple matter to drill out the staking and remove the thumb nuts. The plan was to then cut the stud back about 3/16 of an inch and use a lower profile flange nut to secure the rings to the pick rail. However, when I went to find a nut for the 1/4 inch stud, I soon realized that it featured a 32 threads per inch pitch. No local hardware store carries this rarity, and they're exceedingly hard to find even online, and I couldn't find any with the flange or the material and coating that I wanted. So, with reluctance and some embarrassment, I went with some Monstrum low, 8/10 of an inch high, or 3/10 inch saddle height rings. No snag, low drag. I'm pretty sure they're manufactured in China. Ugh. See our video, gain of function. Hopefully, we'll see Leupold release some rings with flush screws like that featured on their excellent cantilever IMS integral mounting system mounts. The Leupold VX Freedom 1.5-4 Pig-Plex, ideal for the Hellion, and the MSRP of $299 is an excellent value for an American-made optic by a company with Leupold's reputation and a lifetime warranty. If you've made it this far and are still wanting more, I'll roll in the Return to Zero tests for your gun geek satisfaction.
Hi, this is Mark Laughlin speaking for the Ambidextrous Gunfighter. Going to do a little test today with our Leupold VX Freedom Pig-Plex reticle optic here. We've got mounted on the Springfield Armory Hellion. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my cider squares from Project Appleseed. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to check how accurate the turrets are for each click, if it's actually moving a 1/4 minute of angle per click, and then also if it returns back to the zero if I go all the way around things. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you here on the target. I'm going to start off first with a shot to this center square, and just to kind of verify the zero, I guess you'd say. And I'm going to shoot dead center on the square, and then my shot should be, because I'm shooting at 25 meters, will be a little bit low, about 1.25 inches low. And then after I fire my first shot here at the center square, I'm going to move using the turrets on the optic. I'm going to adjust the optic 9 minute of angle to the left and 11 minute of angle up, and then shoot back on this center square, and my shot should be right up here with this upper left square. Okay, after I fire that shot, I'm going to move 18 minute of angle to the right. Again, fire at the center square, and my shot should be over here on this upper right square. And then 22 minute of angle down, that's 88 clicks on this optic. It's a 1/4 minute of angle per click. Do 22 minute of angle down, fire the shot to the center square, impact should be right here. And then 18 minute of angle to the left, that's 72 clicks to the left, and fire the shot to the center of this square. Hit should be over here, and then finally back To the right, 9-minute of angle, that's 36 clicks. To the right, an 11-minute of angle up, 44 clicks. And fire my shot and it should be back where we started if our turrets on this Leupold VX Freedom Pig-Plex reticle are pretty consistent. Now there's going to be some variable me shooting, then also I have to count all these clicks. For example, on this one here I'm doing 72 clicks. That's a lot of clicks to count out and not fuck up. So I have to be very careful with that to be precise so I don't discredit the optic without justice. And so I'm not going to actually film all that, besides it's just boring watching me count out how many clicks I do on the optic. But just this is an overview of where I'm going to be going with this, and then I'll throw in some B-roll footage of just shooting and stuff, maybe a little short clip of making some adjustments, but nothing. I'm not going to make you watch me count out like 88 clicks when I come down over here. So we'll return after we've completed the drill, and we'll see what the results are.
Well, that was a magnificent result. My own shooting was definitely on the upper side of 2 standard deviations to the good for my normal, and the Leupold VX Freedom's return to 0 was as good as I could hope for in a live fire test. With the occasional indistinct clicks, I did not expect such a solid result. The Leupold VX Freedom 1.5-4 Pig-Plex delivers on value and performance.